It seems like it was just yesterday when Genesis, the brand, was launched, but in fact it's actually been 10 years, and I remember that because the G90 was the first vehicle. Now, one of the most important vehicles in their lineup that I was really looking forward to came a few years later, and that was the GV70, and it quickly became the best-selling Genesis in North America for the US and Canada. So this is a very, very important vehicle for us. We are here where everything is bigger, and that is Texas, just outside of Houston, to check out the brand new 2026 GV70. It's been kind of all redesigned. It's a mid-cycle refresh, but it's a lot more than just that. So let's have a look. Now, one thing they have not changed for this new 26 model is the design language and the style, which I'm thankful for because it always had a great style, yet they've improved on it. It still has that nice belt line here that really accentuates the rear. You have the double crease here, and the rear just looks like it's like a cat ready to pounce. It's really hunched down. You have the sweeping roof line here. You have a new rear spoiler. I love how this trim, which is kind of like a polished black chrome type of trim on the sport trim. This is the sport model, how it slopes down and it just has a real nice shape to it. It's very pleasing to the eye. Also new is this color. This is called Ceres Blue, and it actually has an astronomical tie-in. It's a name for a planet, and maybe that's a tie-in because we're in Houston. This is where Mission Control is. Also new for the 2026, you get new wheel options. Now, standard is a 19-inch wheel. If you go for the sport trim that we're driving here today, you get a brand new 21-inch wheel, and check it out. I love how at first glance they look pretty simple. It's like a 5-spoke design. I like simple 5 spokes, but there's a little bit more to it. You see there are these 2 stripes on the outside. Those are not fingerprints. Those are design elements. That's to mimic the dual line design. So they've integrated this design everywhere. Up front, you get a new crest grille. It has a dual weave design to it. You get the polish mixed with the piano black, and they just kind of intertwine together. And there are some very subtle differences also. The intakes are larger here. Down below is different for the rear valence, and even this Genesis badge, I love how on their products, how they just kind of like fall down. It's like a waterfall coming down the hood and just stopping right at the front there. They've redesigned the badge even for better aerodynamics. It feels quite thin, but it's a very nice badge there. We have that multi-LED array lighting system on here. So that's the front, but you know what? One of my favorite things about this is the back. Nice clean look in the back, just like the previous version, except you have a new roof spoiler now. It looks more integrated. You have a nice wiper. Your trunk release is right below the wiper here. That same iconic dual line design that goes straight across for the quad lights there. But this is my favorite part. You see, on the previous generation GV70, one thing, if you look back at my old videos, depending on what trim you got, they included some kind of plastic mesh area on either side of the lower bumper, and I honestly thought that it just really kind of cheapened the product. It just didn't suit the rest of the vehicle, you know. And I even said that that's the first thing I would get rid of if I got a GV70. Well, guess what? Maybe they're listening, I don't know. But anyways, there is no more cheap plastic mesh there at all. So what you get now, if you go for the sport trim that we have, you get these almost crest-like exhaust finishers that are integrated right into the rear valence there. If you go for the non-sport, you get hidden tailpipes, so you don't get any exhaust outlet at all. But I think this looks really, really good. It's a big improvement and a very cohesive design. The inside of the GV70 did not go untouched by any means. Right front and center, you have a brand new OLED screen. It's 27 inches long, and as far as I can see, it's not like 2 screens put together. It's like, it's seamless. You know, right now you can see it, depending on what you put in your navigation, your sound on, it separates it, but there is no separation here. It's one continuous image here. You have wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. We have a 360 camera on here, head-up display. Remember, we are driving the very top sport trim. Base model gets leatherette seats, and then you go into leather surfaces on the top sport. Here we get Napa leather. Beautiful powered seats. I love the quilting. Brand new steering wheel. It's a D-cut steering wheel. You have all your redundant controls here. It's got a great feel. We're gonna talk about that when we start driving it there. New ambient lighting that projects more intensity. You can see this ambient lighting even in the daytime, which is quite impressive. This one also gets like a ultra suede roof. This middle section has been redesigned. The heating controls have been changed, so they are touch, but they do have a haptic feedback to them. I'm not big on touchscreens for heating controls, but at least they went and retained the actual dials for your actual temperature control. Really do like that. You have a volume knob. They've redesigned the cup holders. Also, they have relocated the wireless charger right here. So yeah, wireless charging, it's easier to access on here. You actually have lights that show when it's charging. If you go for the top trim, you do also get the top audio system, and that's a 16 speaker Bang & Olufsen system. Sounds very, very good. And of course, I love the orange accents on here. You can't miss the seat belts, but on the steering wheel, it's tastefully done. Right across the dash, this double stitching, that orange, it really reminds me of that Magma race car that we just saw. It looks very, very hot, and yeah, very comfortable in here. And even this smart key fob has been changed as well. So lots of big changes on the inside of the GV70. In the back, hey, this is a compact to mid-size vehicle with plenty of room for rear passengers. Middle passenger, you know, it does have a hump in the middle. Just be aware of that, but that's nothing new here. But lots of good legroom and footroom and headroom back here. You also get nice little appointments like the hook here for your jacket, perhaps. You have manual sunshades for privacy and for the sun. You have the nice accent for the seat belts, and of course the stitching. Speaker grills on the Bang & Olufsen. What else is new here is this is equipped with tri-zone climate control. So 2 in the front for passenger and driver and 1 for the rear, and it is also a touch controlled as well. So yeah, a very nice place to spend some time in the back here. Good seating position, lots of room. Let's drive. We got launch control here. Listen to that. So 2 power plants, they are carried over. You have a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder turbo that puts out 300 horsepower, or you have this top of the line Sport, which gives you the 3.5 twin turbo, giving you 375 ponies. You have Sport Plus mode as well on here. So we just recently tested the new GV80. This has the same power plant as that, and just like the GV80, when you put this thing in Sport Plus, it turns into an entire different vehicle. You're almost getting 2 vehicles for the price of 1. You know, some vehicles, when you go into Sport, yeah, it firms up the steering a little bit. It's a little bit more responsive, but not as responsive as the difference of this. It's really, really a marked difference for sure. It's still very, very engaging. Now, one thing that they do not have, which I think that hopefully they will eventually, there is no hybrid powertrain as of yet, and it'd be nice to see a hybrid or even a plug-in hybrid version of the GV70. So even though they carried over the powertrains, there is still a lot of difference in this GV70. Some of it you can see from the outside, some of it is hidden underneath the skin of it. So let's start off like kind of on the inside. We talked about the interior already, but the steering wheel, not only is it D-cut, but it's actually thicker, and it gives you a nice confident feel. The only thing I could say is if you had real small hands, it may be more of a little bit of an issue. If you get the top trim in the Sport that we have here, you get the electronic suspension with the road preview. So what is that? Well, we have a camera up top there, and it's scanning the road, and not just for imperfections, but even, let's just say, if you have a speed bump, and it can scan it ahead of time and actually start preparing the suspension for that. Or maybe you're driving on the highway, someone pulls in front of you, kind of cuts you off. Right away, it's going to actually stiffen that front up. It's going to prevent you from diving, which basically is going to allow you to maintain better control and just give you a more confident feel. And that's what it's definitely going to give you. The ride though, very, very smooth. It's quiet. This is also equipped with active noise cancellation. You do have to get the top audio trim to get that, but noise cancellation, we all know what that is. It just it samples all the sound in here. There are microphones all over the place, and then it cancels out with the same frequency. But there's also some other dynamic things happening. They've also went with hydro bushings for the front and rear cross members now, and basically it's a fluid-based bushing that's going to transfer, and it's going to take out any excess vibration, giving you even a smoother ride. The whole thing is to not just create a luxurious experience for the cabin. The advantage is you're going to just get a lot more confident feel of the handling of the vehicle. We talked about the drive modes with that Sport Plus that we get on the Sport model here, but we do have Eco, Comfort, Sport. But Sport Plus, by the way, turns off the traction control, so that's always fun if you want to do a little bit more spirited driving. But we also have a terrain mode now, so if you do go off-road or maybe in the wintertime in snow or ice, you can actually activate that as well. Stopping now is produced by 4 piston calipers. Now, if you do get the top trim like this one here and you get those sexy 21-inch wheels, they've even tuned the wheel, it's a hollow wheel, to actually reduce noise. They really have touched almost every facet of this vehicle on this mid-cycle refresh. If it were my decision, I would actually choose the 3.5 liter twin turbo. Of course, who doesn't like more power? But it's not just the power, you get more torque, and it's just tuned so nicely. When you're in sport mode here, it seems like it's like the Goldilocks for sure. The shifts are holding a little bit longer, not as long as Sport Plus. That's a little bit more extreme, but for some spirited driving on these twisty roads here in Houston, the road preview is working really good. The suspension's working nice. It's sucking everything up, but it's not beating you up in terms of harsh suspension at all. Of course, it's quiet in here, but you can have that tune of that 3.5 liter twin turbo. And brake-wise, nice and progressive braking, and just listen. And of course, you can change your own gears with the paddle shifters as well. The most important thing is that it just feels very, very confident, regardless if you're making evasive moves or you're just trying to have some fun. And to provide even more engagement in spirited driving, the Sport model is equipped with an electronic limited slip diff as well. I've only kind of transited through the Houston area, mainly through the airport, but actually driving in and around the Houston area, the scenery is actually beautiful. The city's nice. Yeah, I've never kind of been here. Have you been to Houston? If you have, leave a comment. Tell me where I should eat. I heard Whataburger is the place to go, and I like burgers, and I see they have In-N-Out now in Texas, but apparently Whataburger it's a Texas thing. I think later we're actually even going to check out Buc-ee's, which is apparently the largest convenience store in the world and has the largest car wash, and I don't know, it should be interesting. The new GV70 is also equipped with lots of safety features, including, rear seat monitoring to, remind you if you actually had someone sitting back there. Also, the latest advanced driving assistance system, the front collision alert, even side collision. Also, highway drive assistant, HDA. We're on the highway right now. I am hands-free, and it is monitoring the road with all the sensors. It's not going to go continuously for, like indefinitely, like some of the more semi-autonomous systems at this point, but you can go for a couple minutes, let's say. And another thing that they've changed now is when you are required to actually give it input, previously it would actually measure, or it would sense if you were going and turning a little bit. So kind of like a torque meter in there now. It actually has built into the steering wheel where it can sense if you're actually just grabbing it. So when you're actually squeezing, even the slightest bit, it's that sensitive and just knows. So if you once in a while just go and just put your hand on it, that's it. It's going to be good, and you're going to satisfy it, and you can just keep on going hands-free. Another thing I want to mention, and I really wouldn't be able to do this if we were back home, but since we are in Texas and it is hot, I can't believe it's May 1st today right now. And in May 1st, we're over 90 degrees here in the Houston area, and it's kind of humid too. It's hot. This vehicle cools down quickly. Like really, really quick. You put that in auto mode and you got ventilated seats, and within a few minutes, I'm telling you, you actually have to turn it up because it gets chilly in here. So that's always good to know. Some systems, you know, they work pretty hard to cool down a cabin, and maybe sometimes it never even gets cool enough, but in a hot environment like this actually, I've proven it works well. I've always been a big fan of the GV70, the styling, the drive, really do like the power plant, but one that I really did like as well was the electrified GV70. It's the best of all worlds, you know, if you're into electric vehicles. Well, there is a new one coming as well. It's gonna get some nice updates as well. We don't have one to test right now, but when we do, we will have it on the channel and show you all of the new changes on that electrified version. I know it does include a bigger battery and even more range now, and even a heated charge port. So those are all big bonuses. So where are they built? Well, if you're American, they are built right here in the US of A, in actually Alabama. But they can't even keep up with demand, so any additional units they actually will get from South Korea. In Canada, all of our units will actually come from South Korea from their Ulsan plant. So we don't know what's going on with tariffs right now, but since they're coming direct from Korea, it will have no effect for our Canadian market. The GV70 with the 2.5 turbo starts at 60,000 Canadian dollars. And remember, all GV70s, regardless of what market you're in, US or Canada, come standard with all-wheel drive. Now in Canada, if you want to go for the 3.5 twin turbo, you'll have to go for the very top trim, which is the Sport all-wheel drive, and that runs you 84,000 Canadian dollars. Dollar for dollar though, I think there is a lot of value here. Let's say if you even compare it to one of its closest competitors, which would be the BMW X3. And you know what? We just tested the X3 M50 not too long ago, and I'm a big fan of X3s. I've owned two of them myself. I love the engine, but once again, there's just so much more value with this GV70. Not only that, of course, it's subjective, but I think the styling on this GV70 really hits the mark compared to that X3. And that X3's interior really was trying so hard. This interior is so much more cohesive. You have the beautiful Napa quilted leather seats. You've got all the bells and whistles included with this. It's a little bit down on horsepower compared to the X3, but that's about it. This thing really is a winner. 10 years ago, you would never have thought that Genesis as a brand would sell over 1 million cars. Not only that, but they're going to Le Mans, they're going racing. And maybe you thought, hey, they might not even survive 10 years. Hey, it's the complete opposite. Competitors all around them are definitely looking out for this brand, and really there is no end in sight for Genesis, and they got another hit on their hands. So what do you think of this new GV70? Leave a comment below. Bye. Like always, if you enjoyed this video or any content on the channel, I have a lot of videos and not just automotive. We have tech, outdoor equipment, including robotic lawnmowers and snow blowers, and even travel, so something for everyone. I would really appreciate if you hit that like and subscribe button. It's completely free, and it allows me to continue creating more content like this for you. Hope to see you on the next video. Bye.